Hello, and thanks for joining us for the CCAA pre-tournament press conference. Joining us today, we have the number 1 seed on the men's side, Cal State San Bernardino. Representing the Yotes, we have head coach Andy Newman and senior guard Darius Lubom. All right, Coach, I just want to hear a little bit. Tell me about your guys. You guys held on for that title. You guys were able to earn one of those first-round bye. Just tell me, first of all, start off, winning the regular season title. That had to be a goal for your team this whole year. You guys were able to achieve your first goal. Talk to me about that first one.
Yeah, Danny, it was, obviously you set a couple different goals at the beginning of the year, and the first one was winning the CC2A championship. And gosh, we just, we fought so hard all year long. And I think being able to win a CC2A championship really kind of tells the consistency that this team has, and being able to come out on every night and defend, and play together. So it's been a great year, been a fun year. CC2A, as you know, is a very tough conference, and to come out on top, I'm really proud of our guys. And first goal, check it off. We got it done. We're really excited about it.
Darius, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about this team identity. We know you're out there. We know you're out there running the point and stuff, but just talk to me a little bit about what you feel this team's greatest strengths are. What do you feel is something that maybe doesn't show up in the box score, but you feel this team can really, hang its hat on?
Unmute yourself, Darius.
Yeah, everybody's bought in, and we do that the team role. We play a team role very well. Everybody is everybody's bought in and locked in on the same goal and the same page. So I think that's the strength of the team right there. We all know what we're looking for. We all know what it feels like to have success, and that's that's our greatest strength.
There's one other thing when you talk about the strengths out there. We look in their stats, and we see you guys can score. I don't think there's any question out there. You guys have a number of scores out there. Leading conference score, I think you guys are leading the conference by about 6 points a game. But talk to me about the defensive side of the ball. Are you guys pretty confident if you guys need to get a stop? Tell me about, if you guys had to come down and get a stop, tell me about that side.
Yeah. We're actually built on defense. That's kind of the number one thing we talk about is being locked in defensively, just so that there's not so much pressure on offense. And some nights, some games out there, the ball's not going in. We're getting great shots, ball's not going in. But because our defense is so strong and we rely on defense so much, then it kind of, it lightens the shoulders on the offensive end.
Fantastic. Coach, I love hearing that one. And I do think that that's been kind of one of the interesting things out there. Not only do you guys have a bunch of guys that looks like can score, but you guys have seems like you guys create some pretty tough defensive matchups out there as well. But what I'd like to know from you, I guess, is basically, how do you feel depth like that really helps in a tournament setting? We know that you guys don't usually have to play back-to-back days. How do you feel? I feel depth is probably one of your better strengths. How does that help you in the tournament setting?
Yeah, it absolutely does. I mean, when you're playing back-to-back days, you never know how somebody's body's going to respond to playing on a Friday night and then having to back that up and play on a Saturday night. You don't want just like the little nicks and bruises that come with playing a physical sport, like a quick sprained ankle or a thigh bruise, something like that goes away in 3 or 4 days. You don't want that to cost you. And so with this team, we have so many really good players. We can go 8, 9, 10 deep if we need to. You look at the scoring off of our bench with guys like Kaijae Stevens, who's really coming on, guys like Timmy Falls. That allows us to plug those guys in and really not have any drop on both ends of the floor. And so our depth is a huge strength of ours. I think that's also what's led us to the CC2A championship, being able to have a consistent offensive attack and defensive attack when you're going through the course of a 4 or 5 month season, and some guys get hurt throughout the year, and then having guys step up and really keep us rolling has been a huge part of our success, and really honestly a fun way to coach. I mean, giving other guys opportunities to play and show what they can do, and to credit our team, those guys have stepped up in those moments and really performed.
I know Darius touched on this a little bit, but Coach, as you talk about this one, just those little hip bruises, those little things like that, how important was it for you guys to get that first round bye then in a situation where you would have had to possibly play 3 games in 3 days?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, winning 3 games in a row, I was never great at math, but I know that winning 2 games is easier than 3. So I do know that one. And as you go through it, playing back to back to back, that's a new thing for whoever has to do that. That's a tough skill that nobody really has any practice with, especially with COVID. This year, it's been really more breaks than it has been more back-to-back games. And so I think it's a tremendous advantage for us in Chico to be able to only have to win 2 games back-to-back instead of 3. But shoot, it's March, man. This is crazy time of year. Anything can happen. You watch what UCLA did playing in the play-in game last year and make it all the way to the Final Four. And so I've done it multiple ways. Having to win 3 games in a row, having to win 2, anything can happen, but only having to win 2 is certainly gives us an advantage going into this thing.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I do want to take a couple moments to open this up to other people on the floor that might have a question here for Coach Newman or Darius Lubal.
I've got one for both Coach and Darius. Kind of talk about throughout the season, as different guys got hot or went on scoring streaks and then maybe cooled off for a bit, how different starters or different guys off your bench would step in and fill the scoring gap or fill the rebounding gap, and kind of how that's brought you to a point where like you said, you can depend on a large list of student athletes to contribute.
Yeah, I'll start and then I'll let Ro kind of comment about his teammates from a different perspective. But for us, we've been very fortunate. We had a great year recruiting, and now we're kind of seeing the fruits of that. And so having a guy like Kajay Stevens, who we talked about a little bit earlier, transfer from Pepperdine, he just an incredible offensive talent, one of the best shooters I've ever coached. Having him being bought into his role as coming off the bench, 1 has been great, but 2, having him ready to go has been big. I mean, we saw that at Cal State LA where, Brandon Napper wasn't able to go because of a hamstring pull, and he stepped up and got 32. And so knowing that you have that sitting on the bench, it gives you a lot of freedom as a coach to give guys opportunities. You're not pegged into one thing. And I've done this a lot of, for a long time now. And when your team is just built on 1 or 2 guys, boy, you're just, it's tough. It's so nerve wracking because, you're just hoping everything is going right for those 2 guys. But this year and this team has been really fun. I've been able to kind of relax a little bit, which has been good for me and my relationship with my wife, actually, which has been good. But with, knowing that you can go into a game and if one guy's just doesn't have it that day, there's another guy ready to fill their shoes. And I think anytime you win a championship, that's really what you got going on your team. So it's been good, been great. I think with Timmy Falls, Jalen McFadden, Kajay Stevens, Richard Laku, those are guys that come in, give us great minutes, and we don't see much of a drop when they come in. So it's made life easy for me as a coach. I don't know how has it made you, Ro, as a point guard?
Yeah. I just kind of look at it like it brings us like a different dynamic to the game. Sometimes we go small, sometimes we bring Tim in the 4, and we can get up and down the floor, and it kind of just changes the game, and it just has a different a lineup in, and it might keep the opposing team on their toes. Like they got to stay ready. Sometimes you got 2 bigs in there. Sometimes we got all guards and we can run up and down the floor. Sometimes we're just looking to run and gun or slow the game down. So having that depth kind of Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it does a lot. It does a lot.
Fantastic. Mitch, I know we can't see you right now, but did you have a question for Coach or Darius that you wanted to put in?
Just wondering if you guys can hear me okay. What the plan is for Wednesday? Are you going to have the team go to the game and watch the game to see who you might be playing on Thursday in the first round, or are you just going to do your regular routine?
Yeah, no, we will definitely come and watch a little bit of the 8 o'clock game that we're going to see. There's no better scouting report than watching them live. We can sit in a film room and look at papers and do all that stuff, but there's nothing better than just seeing it in person. So we will definitely come and watch a little bit of that 8 o'clock game. Probably not the whole thing, but definitely a piece of it, and just kind of get our guys' minds set and locked in on. And that's the fun part too. Like this is tournament time. Like these are fun moments. This is why, a lot of these guys played college basketball. This is why they call it March Madness. This is why the NCAA makes, I don't even want, incredible amounts of money doing it, because it's really fun, and it's fun to be a part of. And we are definitely going to soak all of that in. We're going to be excited to hang with all of our other CC2A members, and it's going to be a great time up there in Humboldt, and we're looking forward to it.
Thank you so much, Coach. Thank you, Darius. This was just wonderful. Thank you for just taking time, just giving us a couple minutes to get a little insight into your program. We can't wait to see you guys open up the tournament. As mentioned, Cal State San Bernardino does have a first round bye. They are the #1 seed, and they will wait the winner of the 4-5 matchup, which is Cal State Monterey Bay and Cal State Dominguez Hills. They'll play them Thursday night at 8 p.m. on the CCA network. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.